So, hello Kamil, good morning. Nice to see
Hi
you again.
Tibor, great to see you too.
So we're back again to our
Yes.
little chat, yeah.
Yes.
And today I would like to ask you a little bit more about your profession. We know that you are a coach. You said this one before in one of our videos, but I would like to know a little bit more about what type of coach and who you're coaching and what does it mean for you to be a coach. If you could tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. What type of coaching I'm doing is I like to explain usually that I do three type of coaching. One is health coaching, health and fitness. That's where basically my background comes from. That's where I've been for many years. I've been training people and I was always coaching them as well in terms of other areas, not just the fitness as exercise is concerned, but also nutrition, lifestyle, and so on, sleep. And so definitely health and fitness, lifestyle coaching was always there. And that's definitely where is one of my passion. Another one is a little bit new because I would like to help people who want to open gym or run a gym. So something like gym business coaching or fitness coaching for the business.
And you wrote a book about that one.
Yes, I recently wrote a book about how to open and run a gym, and it's called Fit for Purpose is the name of the book. And yeah, over there I basically describing what is important when you want to open a gym. What are the things to think about first of all? What you need to be concerned about or really think about and take into consideration, and then obviously practical steps as well. So it's the business coaching. Certainly I could share a lot of insights because we have 2 CrossFit gyms in the city, so we learn a lot over the last 5 years. And the last one is a life coaching, or sometimes it's called personal coaching. And this is in regards to people who are ambitious and wants to move on with their goals, who wants to achieve the goals, and perhaps we're not able to do that because for many reasons, they might have limiting beliefs in them. There might be some kind of external obstacles which they can't really overcome, or all sorts of reasons. You know, they might feel that they need to obtain certain qualification, or they need to have certain money in order to start that, or So I'd like to help people to overcome their obstacles and get to the goals they really want. So I really enjoy psychology of things, and I really enjoy helping people to overcome and really move on with their life and reaching their potential, trying to really get closer to their potential. A lot of people want to do that, but sometimes they don't know how to approach it or where to start. Yeah. So perhaps help them with that. And I would like to also tell you definition of coaching. What is it for me?
That's one of my next question. I want to ask you, what's the coaching for you? What does it mean to be a coach for you?
For me, coach is someone who asks really powerful questions, and through these questions is really accessing your own genius. Let's say you are my client and I'm coaching you. Mm-hmm. Through the questions I'm asking you, I'm bringing you to places where you maybe never been thinking about. Maybe you never even thought about those options, which you actually come up yourself through those questions. So it's not advisor, it's not consultant, it's not someone who is telling you what to do. Mm-hmm. It's majority of coaching comes from questions, asking really good questions, and sometimes challenging questions. Really challenge your views, your way of thinking. Mm-hmm. So you can't be afraid to ask these questions, and sometimes it shocks the person. Sometimes it's like, oh my God, this question. They might be surprised, or they might be a little bit off-putting. It might be a little bit kind of defensive. Yeah. So you need to read that person really well, listen to them, giving them space, and especially not judge them. This is very important, that it's non-judgmental, and it's very what's the word when you make sure confidential. Yeah. It's really confidential and needs to stay between those two people. You're never going to share someone else's really private stuff, private things which those people are sharing with you.
Yeah.
So you're very confidential, you're not judgmental, you're asking these questions, but sometimes they are also challenging questions, because only the challenging questions often can move and shift your thinking, can really have a realization on you. So that's what coaching is to me. I can be open. I sometimes struggle to be just giving questions or asking questions without actually directing, because as I said, for my previous kind of coaching or training people, I was very directive, often direct advices, how to train, how to do.
That was the fitness.
That was the fitness part. You usually direct people. You are.
Tell them how to hold the bar.
Yeah, you're giving them direct instructions. You're literally instructing people. So I need to be careful sometimes. And funny enough, I would mention that yesterday I had one life coaching client, and I ended up, after certain questions, so I find out a lot of information, a lot of situation where she is. And after, I felt like I actually want to give her some advice, because I really feel this is now time to give her some advice, And I did give her advice, and we agreed on a lot of, not a lot of stuff, but we agreed on something that she will take from this, and she will try to create this habit and so on of doing this. And it did came from a little bit from me, So I'm still learning and I'm aware of it. Perhaps retrospectively, I was thinking maybe I could ask her questions so she would give me that answer. I could almost, like, you can ask but you shouldn't ask leading questions, So it is art. It is a little bit art. You really practice, and you only get better by doing it. So to me, the coaching is very interesting thing, and but it comes from a good place. It comes from a place to help. It comes from a place to help people.
So it's very personal. I would say it must be personal to you, but it must be very personally tailored for that client as well.
Oh, it's absolutely always. The questions are obviously tailored on your situations and on your belief system. Like if I see you got certain belief about something, and I think that could be quite limiting you or is holding you back. I feel that it's holding you back to achieve that goal, because you said few times in between lines certain assumptions or certain convictions or certain beliefs, which I could recognize that it's probably the thing which holds you back. I give you questions to challenge that. Because I want to really go to the bottom of it. What's going on here? Why you have those beliefs, and how can we move on from that? Because maybe it doesn't have any supportive legs. Maybe you have these beliefs from when you were a child, and you still have it, and it's have no legs anymore. It's just because someone told you that from family or friends then 20 years ago, that this is who someone said, oh, you never will be singing, or you never will be doing this, you never will be able to. And you took that and you hold it as a belief that really you can't sing. But you didn't really test it. You didn't really challenge that. It's just you holding it like for granted that it's taken, it's given. This is it. So, yeah, I find it very interesting, coaching, and I'm still learning, and that's why it's interesting to me, because when you're learning something, I enjoy it. I enjoy to learn new things, and for me, it's a process which I can get only better by obviously practicing. So that's where I am kind of coaching. So it covers a lot of areas. It covers health and fitness. It covers the business. I can talk about business in kind of general, but I think you would get more benefit out of me if the business is related to fitness, perhaps personal training. I can really help out there. Or gyms, if you want to open a place, or if you want to run the place, and a lot of areas. It really includes a lot of areas which we struggled or we went through. So I can share our experiences. So it's kind of coaching / mentoring a little bit on that business side. But on the life coaching, I would like to say that it's more of a coaching.
And Would you say, because you were a professional sportsman, basically, you did wrestling for many, many years, so you had your own coaches, would you say that this experience actually helped you to achieve what you right now? So you basically get some kind of inspiration how to get through hardship and difficult things, and would you say that you can kind of generate some experience from that?
Certainly can generate experience in terms of hardship, that the sport makes you prepare mentally. Mentally, you are certainly more prepared because you are faced with difficult opponents. You feel that little fear. You feel that kind of in your stomach, those butterflies, or you feel a bit of a, you can call it stress, or a bit of a fear, bit of unknown. Anxiety, how the match is going to be. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a battle. If we're talking about wrestling, you really know it's going to hurt, perhaps. At least metabolically, it will be a hard match. And so, you have this, you have 5 matches in a day, and 3 of them might be really difficult. So you go through this, you're facing a tough challenge. Right now, in 5 minutes is your match, and you are prepared. You need to prepare yourself mentally for it, and ideally to have a really positive outcome. So you're dealing with that mental talk, internal talk, and this certainly prepares you for life situations. Exactly. Because then in life you're also faced with all sorts of challenges, right? Every day there's a challenge. Whether it's difficult client, whether it's a meeting, a difficult situation, on a street, or anywhere at work, Sometimes you even have to have difficult conversation at home with your wife, or so. Certainly prepares you. The sport definitely takes you through some hardness. So it does.
So what does it give to you? What do you get out of it from the coaching when you're helping other people? What do you get out of it? Apart of obviously financial and all these things, but what does it give to you?
Well, it's just a really nice feeling knowing that person is moving forward because of my help. It's excellent. If you would tell me today that, what, Kamil, I really try for last 4 years, I try to open my own business, let's say you are a coach and you're working for someone else and you really think of, opening something on your own, but you tried a few times, maybe over the last year, you try a few times, but you really don't know how to go about it. You get stuck or this and that. You perhaps need some help, and then I will come into your life, and you agree with me to be your coach. And we go through maybe 3 months of coaching, and at the end of it, you start to opening your business, or you're moving along finally. I think it's a nice feeling for a coach to see that coaching was useful, that coaching gets you somewhere where you wanted to go. You get closer to your goal. You might not have straight away successful business, but you're already working on your business. You're already moving along. I'm helping you with that, for example. Or it could be, any area. It could be in an area of change career, or how to become more confident, perhaps, even those things, anything. And when I see the results, like in my clients, that is a nice feeling that you're useful. I think we all want to be useful in life. We all want to be needed, like in some way. If you feel you're not needed and you're not useful, you feel worthless. So I think it comes from that very, very, very deep ingrained feeling that you want to be useful in some way. And as a coach, you are impacting someone else's life. So you make a difference for the person in some way. That's really satisfying. It's really satisfying.
Thank you. And one more question here.
One more question, so and then we ask you about coaching.
So far, what would you say, what you've seen so far, what are the main problems or what are the main obstacles people facing? And you think that, okay, this could be changed. What is it, what you've seen so far in your clients that they struggle the most?
I think you would be surprised how many people have certain insecurities and including us, including, everyone has certain insecurities or feels sometimes that not worthless, but very often the things are not happening because of lack of confidence. The confidence play a huge role often in people pursuing something. They have fear of something. So that is the most common thing, that your fear of judgment. What if I do something new, if I do something different, what people will think of me? How am I gonna look in front of outside world? How they're gonna perceive me when I'm doing this and suddenly I'm this, or I think there is a lot of fear. The fear is probably the number one inhibitor for people's progress. Fear of something, fear of, as I said, judgment, being judged, seen, worrying about what other people think of you, for example. Another fear of rejection, I don't want to be rejected, so I rather don't even ask, or I rather not going that path. I don't want to be rejected. I know if I start something new, I will be rejected, so you stop doing it. So I think it's the fear of some sorts. And then, certain beliefs we hold. That is the most common. Everyone has obviously different beliefs, but they often comes from really early age. And it's a shame. It's a shame because it can be really inhibiting for people. But it's often belief or fear. That's what it is. Because you either have belief that I can't do that because I haven't got enough money, or I can't, reach that goal because I'm too old, or I'm coming from Slovakia. How can I do it in England when I don't speak the native language? Or whatever is your belief, it is at the same time, it could be your limiting belief. It could be empowering you. You might have belief that your language is my strength. That's a great, that I have different accent and, that is my strength. So can you see how you can see the same thing two ways? That might be something which holds you back, or it might be something that makes you go forward because you believe that is your strength.
That's true. That's right.
Yeah, so I think it's really, really down to beliefs and fear. If we really strip it down, really strip it down. Anyway, Tibor, so thank you for that. And I'd like to ask you as well. You are a coach yourself. And I'd like to ask you why you are a coach. Why did you become a coach? Obviously, Krav Maga coach. Would you say you are coaching other things as well than Krav Maga?
At the moment, I coach Krav Maga, but I used to coach other martial arts as well. And I am a fitness instructor, level 3, and all these things. So, but at the moment, the main is instructor in Krav Maga self-defense.
So what coach means to you? Did you even play with the idea, or do you see yourself as a coach, or do you see yourself as an instructor? How would you describe?
I think it's a very close connection between coaching and instructing, although the words probably mean slightly something else. But when I'm teaching the class, I'm an instructor because in a class I have maybe around 20 to 30 people, and I cannot really coach them individually. So it's more instructing. Yeah. So I demonstrate something and then I instruct them. I go around and pick up a few bits and pieces like details and give them constant instruction. But then when I do, let's say, a private client, one-to-one client, then it's more coaching because that it becomes much more personal. Okay, that's when you can go much more deeper through why is it that that person wants to do certain thing, or why is it that the person cannot do that certain things, cannot express physically himself or herself, basically. Because a lot of time people understand, or at least they say in their head when you tell them something, they say, yeah, I know, I understand it, but they can't perform it.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's when the coaching comes in much more deeper, because you need to try to find why is it? Is it because my instructions are not clear, or is it because there is, like you mentioned before, there is some kind of block and they think they cannot do it, although you can see they can. So that become much more personal. That I would say is much more coaching. That's I think what you were talking as well. You're coaching. Where you wanna aim.
So the next question is bringing me to what coaching means to you.
To me, at the moment in this stage, because it's always changing. Like a couple of years ago when I started to coach was, I think I was very kind of aggressive and I wanted to do everything right according my kind of instructions. So I was sometimes a bit of frustrated that if people didn't get it and then basically later in this stage at the moment, I figure out that the coaching for me, what does it mean to me is similar like you said, when I can see that people get what they ask for. So basically, if somebody approach you, either in a class or if it's one-to-one and they have some specific problem, some need, that's why they look for your services, for your help. And if you can achieve it somehow, basically, that's kind of uplifting feeling. I feel like that's much more rewarding than be paid for it, at least to me. And luckily I have clients who send a nice review or basically tell me years after years, that advice you give me, or when we were working together, it really helped me, and I managed to achieve this and that, and that's a perfect feeling, and I just like that. I like that reward.
Yeah, it seems like we are in very similar place, and I think most of coaches are going into this profession because of that, because they genuinely want to help people.
Exactly.
In terms of coaches in your life, I'm sure you had coaches as well before, or at least someone who acted almost like a coach. Mm-hmm. So he wasn't a coach, he might have been anything, but he acted as a coach because there was a moment when he maybe asked you powerful questions and made you think, and there was a figure who you maybe respected. So maybe tell us one or two kind of occasion when that was the case.
So I would say in a very early stage of my life, the best coaches are always the people closest to you, which are the parents, grandparents. And I would say definitely that now when I look back, I can see that they challenged me a lot of time, either with question or some action, which I didn't understand at the time, and I thought it's silly or it's unnecessary. But now I see that basically it was a live lecture, and it was something which they did because of their experience. Okay, so it could be anything from my grandfather challenging me in a forest, which mushroom is what, when we were picking the mushrooms, or I don't know, I used to play football with my father challenging me, why did you do that one, why you didn't make this decision. So it was always there. And obviously in the later stages when I join sport clubs, then you have your specific coaches who are specifically focusing on thing what you're doing there. So I had quite a lot, and I learned from it, and that's one of the reasons why I become a coach, why I become an instructor, because I think I have enough knowledge and experience, and I would like to share it with the other people. Yes. So
Also, I know that you really like the Eastern philosophy, and
that's right.
Is there any teacher there? Was there any teacher who maybe taught you the meditation, or maybe Tai Chi or some other martial arts in the past, who you came across and acted like a coach for you?
Yeah. So, excuse me. One of the first coaches was coaches from East, Aikido coaches, and there are a few of them, but can't really go to the names. But basically, how I got into the Eastern or the healing or the Eastern philosophy was through the martial arts again, where after each session of the workshop or anything like that, basically a good hard training, we didn't have just the physical part, but we had a mental part as well. So relaxation, how to take care of yourself, which that time when you're young and full of energy, I didn't think that it's so important. But I seen that it helping me, working on me, and it helped other people. And then I kind of start putting dots together, and I was like, okay, this is very important, and that's why I choose that kind of part of my life. So I went into the more deeper into the Eastern philosophy, Eastern medicine, and where I am now, it's just because of my past and the experience from the past.
And last question, I know you are now mostly Krav Maga coach or instructor, but I know also you already mentioned in the other interview you would like to have your own clinic, and I guess you would like to be more of a coach or someone who, or maybe a teacher or someone who is going to educate people on some other level. So tell us a little bit, what is the goal, what type of teacher or coach you want to be going forward? Let's say you have your clinic, who you see yourself there, who you are there.
So as I said, as you mentioned, basically, I finished a couple of years ago the university with where I studied the traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture. And the traditional Chinese medicine has certain pillars, certain branches, but all of it coming from the Eastern philosophy of the life, of Taoism, and a little bit of Buddhism, other things, but the Taoism is the main pillar. And that philosophy basically is based on the Tao, the way, the life, and is the everyday life. So it can be applied into business, it can be applied into sport, it can be applied to the personal, normal struggle or life.
Yeah.
And through doing these things, I'm not just, or I see myself at the moment not just as a practitioner, let's say like a normal GP, where you go and they tell you, oh, this hurts you, I give you this medication, or go see that person. But I see myself a little bit more as a coach again.
Yes.
Okay, something like you were talking about. So if I can't help, maybe I know people who can help. So I could maybe refer somebody to you, or somebody to somebody who a psychologist, let's say. So that's kind of my goal, where I would like to get that. I would like to be something like life coach, personal coach, although excuse me, not in that Western kind of philosophy, but the Eastern way. And again, kind of show the people that there is always a way. Yes. And you have to do it. The things must flow. The things must be moving all the time, and that's what the life is about. So that's kind of my future, that having my own little clinic where I can help you physically through the treatments, but as well I can help you mentally. Yeah.
I think that's a great way to finish. I think that was nice end to it. So I hope people enjoyed that, sharing our view on coaching, and I'm looking forward to next talk already. So make sure you have some drink, yeah?